I said, hey yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Mojados, and we're back with another video. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today we're going to be talking everything Bitcoin. That's right, everything Bitcoin. So we're going to be talking about, what I expect from a macro perspective, where I think price is headed, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm pretty bullish on this chart. Last month I talked about what I expected, and this month we had an amazing reaction off of this low here, pretty much letting us know that this is a confirmed trend, and that is my opinion, and I think we're going to continue to go higher, and I'm going to talk about that in this video. So let's get things right into the groove. So taking a look here, we're approaching this 30k order block, so this is definitely going to act as a resistance. That's why we're seeing such choppy price action at this level, and it's definitely going to probably break maybe the second or third time, and it is possible that we even do retrace back to 25k. Now, Mo, why are you saying that you're bullish if we can retrace? Because at the end of the day, I can still be bearish on the interim, but also be bullish on the macro, right? Just because we get a pullback does not mean that the macro bullish trend is not intact, right? This clear range was something that we spoke about in December, right? We literally called this bottom here, also sniped the top in February. You can literally see that video back in January talking about how 25 is a range high. We get the retrace, but this is where it changes for me. This is where I'm going to say, hold on, wait a minute. We are getting the follow through that this was the macro bottom, potentially, again. And I say that because anything can happen in this market, but judging off of what we have seen in the past, judging off of the volume, and again, this is follow through, right? You're also seeing a mean wick, a mean follow through candle, literally the following week, a massive move to the upside. And even on the monthly, this close is absolutely, crazy, right? And it's bullish. And we're seeing the narrative for Bitcoin, right now at its peak, right? A store of value. And right now, at times where it is currently, super inflation around the world, we're seeing, Russia, China, Brazil, India, all these countries basically just getting out of the dollar and trading oil in other countries, in other currencies. I said countries. Trading in other currencies is, again, like, wait a minute, I have all these dollars, let's diversify and go into Bitcoin. I think that's what's happening partially, and not just Bitcoin, but all of cryptos. But not to get too sidetracked, I think that's kind of what's fueling this move. But again, it's very, very important to watch how this will play out. But for the most part, we are getting the follow through. And let's just take a quick look at what the follow through is, right? So again, I talked about this last month, but I'll quickly do a retouch in case you forgot. Because listen, a month is a long time. But every single cycle, you see a range. Every single time is a range. Eventually, that range breaks. And what you see after the range is the follow through. This is your follow through. You see volume pushing up. Okay, same thing here. This is your range. And then what happens? You see volume ramping up as the price is moving up. Same thing here, right? You see this bottom over here. Guess what? We have the volume climax, but guess what? Slowly, volume starts ramping up. And we have not seen that actual volume yet as it ramps up. But we are anticipating it because, again, this is the weekly time frame and we don't have that much data yet. Of course, it does not happen immediately, as you can see in these instances. You don't see the volume pick up immediately. But if you do go down to the smaller time frames, which I'm just going to go back to just to give you more of a look, you can see definitely volume is picking up at this area. And I think the reason why the volume looks sucky here is because I'm actually on the wrong chart. I just realized, I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on? Let's go back to Binance. So there you go. So, and the reason why I'm using Binance, guys, is because right now, as we know it, when you look at exchanges, Binance has the most traded Bitcoin volume. So it's definitely going to be my #1 exchange to use for volume. And you can see here, even after this move, there's more volume on this move up because it's clear that, this is a breakout. This is a continuous move of this trend. And again, we went sideways for about, what, 300 days? How many days was this range? 250 days, 300 days, whatever the hell, right? We broke out of it. And so I believe that, yes, we can retrace, but for the most part, I'm bullish to the upside. So it's very, very important. And I just want to emphasize that for you guys because, it's likely that we get up to 41K. So yeah, I know that sounds crazy, but you're seeing the volume pick up here and we're not even chopping yet. We see vertical candles still right now, right? Like, if shit, like, I'm speechless. I just look at this, I'm like, damn, this can run pretty hard. But I'm gonna share a bearish scenario right now, and some of us might not like it. So again, I don't really care. In the past, I've done this, and sometimes I'm right on the money. So I'm gonna just quickly share this before I actually show the bear example. But the halving is also coming up as well in February of 2024. So usually leading into that, you do get like some bearish price action. So we may even see something where price comes up and then comes down, and then into that halving we see price spike up again. But there's also another thing that no one is talking about. I'm gonna pull that up on the BLX here. So this is it. This is your bearish moment, guys. Don't get salty with me. But we have a perfect 5 waves up, and I talked about this at length in my last video, and I'm gonna give you a brief update right now. We have 5 waves up, right? Each cycle took 4 years, and what we see right now is basically the wave A intersecting to wave 3. Now that has never happened in Bitcoin history. We also have never seen Bitcoin double top in pretty much its history. And also Bitcoin dominance for the first time wasn't able to reclaim on the way down here. So again, the trend is breaking. Something is shifting. It's small subtle hints that people are not picking up on that I'm trying to bring to your attention. So that leads me to believe that, hey, listen, we are probably, bottoming out here, which I did explain, over the past 2-3 months now. And it's possible that we put in a wave B around 40K, but then make a new low under wave A. That is the situation that I'm talking about. I think this is a scenario that cannot be ignored. This is very, very important because, again, like we're seeing a break of trend. We see the A, like this structure break right here, like this A intersecting the 3. This is the most important thing that I think is not getting enough attention, right? So again, to each their own. I'm not gonna sit here and say, hey, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But, I think that this is definitely something to, consider. But, hey, listen, this ABC wave doesn't necessarily have to be a zigzag, right? It doesn't have to necessarily go like this. It can even, become a flat, right? It could become a running flat, an extended flat. Who knows? It can even become a triangle. Like, there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of corrections in Elliott wave. But the point I'm trying to make is that people are expecting this to continue to copy every single cycle, but that's not how this works. If it was that simple, guys, then hey, listen, everybody would just be doing the same exact thing and nothing would ever change, right? But that's not the case. And we are reaching a point right now where the masses are getting familiar with Bitcoin. And again, everyone is screaming to buy Bitcoin. Everyone is going to be screaming to buy Bitcoin at 41K. So I can only imagine this continuing to get, more and more steam as we approach those levels. So I'm giving a disclaimer now, and I'm going to continue to do that as we, progress, of course, month by month, because my bias can also change as well. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I've done that before. And I continue to keep crushing Bitcoin, honestly. I've been doing it 3, 4, 5 months now that we've been killing it here. So yeah, all the proof is in the pudding. So you can go watch all these videos if you like. But I actually want to quickly show the 2-week RSI as well to prove my point. Last time I talked about how this level here was very, very important because, we don't see the RSI this oversold. And when we did, especially ranging as sideways as we have like an accumulation type of zone, it breaks out, right? And this is important because like when you're trading, guys, sometimes it's not about Bitcoin, like maybe not this chart itself, but it can apply to every other chart that you're using, right? You don't have to necessarily apply this to only Bitcoin. Take it as a lesson, a case study. That if something's going sideways for so long, hey, listen, there's probably a chance if it consolidates as support, it can move up. So again, I think that's going to be something to take away. But I also want to talk about and pivot towards the rest of the market, right? Because at the end of the day, we can use what's in the market, like looking at, certain relationships and correlations to say, hey, Bitcoin usually trends when this happens. And right now we are seeing people rotate out of stable coins, which basically does mean that cryptocurrencies are going to continue to gain dominance against them. So this is bearish. So that's obviously bullish for Bitcoin. I do think this comes down to here around 7%, which means Bitcoin will probably continue to gain and, keep going up in the meantime. And until this level is hit, I'm not going to really be looking to, say, hey, listen, we're probably going to have to slow down, pump the brakes, and maybe take some more profits, right? Also, total. This is a very important chart as well. This is probably going to hold, and we're going to probably see 2.5 trillion get tapped. And this is also important because most of the money is probably going to be in Bitcoin when this does reach 2.57 trillion, or who knows, maybe it's not. But the point is that this is very bullish, and if this is very bullish, that means most of crypto is bullish, and that means Bitcoin is bullish. And that's very important. And the last thing I want to show here is, guys, you know, Bitcoin dominance is pretty much on a rampage right now. I do think that we run up to 49% here before we get a reaction. Now, the last time we saw alt season, because again, as Bitcoin holders, right, we want as much Bitcoin as possible, and we use altcoins for that purpose, right? Sometimes, right, we want to rotate out, get some altcoins, rotate back into Bitcoin, right? That's how it's pretty much used if you have an aggressive strategy, or you could just keep accumulating Bitcoin. So again, I mean, to each their own. But anyways, what we saw last time was basically like a consolidation range, right? And when the high gets tapped, we basically see some type of confirmation in the next 2 or 3 candles that, hey, listen, this is going to break down. And that's kind of what I'm anticipating here. We're probably going to get up to this high here. And maybe if we do get a rejection, the same way we saw here, we'll probably break down. Now, will it go as low as 35%? I don't know. Okay. But this is going to be fun to watch because it adds an extra layer to say, hey, wait a minute, maybe this can play out in a manner that's extremely bullish or not. So, you know, we're going to continue to monitor that. But it is exciting because there's so many probabilities here. Bitcoin's, you know, behavior is changing. And again, this is the first time in a bear market, well, it's not a bear market, I believe, not anymore, that Bitcoin didn't reclaim all the dominance. Because you can see here in 2018, it reclaimed all this dominance on its way back up. But this time it just continued to go sideways, which leads me to believe what I've been saying throughout this whole video is that the behavior is changing, but people are not paying attention to the little details, right? Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin hitting a previous all-time high, Bitcoin putting in a double top. You know, again, Bitcoin, you know, potentially putting in a B wave after 5 waves completed. Again, there's so many things that, you know, I think will play out over, you know, a longer period of time that we shouldn't ignore, right? Of course, we can always change our bias, but I'm gonna keep continuing to give you the uncut truth in my personal opinion. Of course, hopefully I'm wrong. It doesn't matter, right? It's a win-win situation. Either I get to see my bags pump, or I guess I get to accumulate cheaper Bitcoin. We'll see what happens. But that's pretty much everything that you know, that I wanted to cover. The narrative again for Bitcoin is stronger than ever. We're seeing it act as a store of value while countries continue to print money, especially in the US. The clown show continues. But can you imagine with the SEC kind of getting thrown into a corner by Congress, a Bitcoin ETF will probably get approved soon. So we'll see what happens. And again, I am very bullish. If you are not liking this video and subscribed, what the hell are you doing? Thank you again for making it to the end of the video. And as always, haro. Peace.